notifications go out. Here we are, real quick, y'all. Okay, real quick. This is gonna be a quick message because we do start to realize how predictable narcissists are. Same old. Nothing new under the sun. And once you understand how to pay attention to the fact that all they're doing is the same stuff over and over and over again, if they're trying to get us to step out of character, if they're trying to get us to respond, to react, okay, you can see through it, and they want us to step out of character, so you start to see the patterns. You know how I teach patterns tell a story. Like, while those notifications are going out, let me go ahead and do our usual sound check here to make sure everything is hunky-dory, if you will. I know it's crazy, but here in this location, it seems like things work a bit better using Wi-Fi. So I got y'all comments, okay? I see y'all. I got back to Chris on Patreon already, and for those who are on Patreon, I got more stuff coming, and we are now getting back to business as usual. So I want to make sure that every week, those of you who are on the free membership side of Patreon, I'll make sure you get a little short clip too. Plus, that's also here on YouTube, so that way y'all can get a preview of the type of content. I mean, we go deeper, and we just branch out, you know, about this radio frequency poisoning, healthier living, our combat against that for the movement, and then more trauma healing and spiritual growth, just things in life. And we've got the Truth Analyzer Patreon podcast on the Patreon channel. You can unlock access to exclusive content for as little as $5 a month. Everything you also into this ministry goes right back into our growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. And so we're going to keep on keeping on. All right, I'm going to get the formalities out of the way here in just a moment. Let me pull this up. I don't know how long it takes for YouTube to send out those things. I think it's on average up to about maybe 7 minutes or so, as far as how long it takes. But yes. All right, there we go. Let me go ahead and check everything. Okay, good to go there. And we have a social media strategy that God has us using to make sure that we at least post once, if not twice, across multiple platforms. So while y'all are joining us for this reminder, and then for some of y'all, this newfound knowledge about narcissists being very, and I mean very predictable, let me go ahead and give y'all some updates because it's very important to stay on top of this, okay? Because we are on Facebook. We have the business Facebook page at Consulting for Heightened Awareness. We also have our Spiritual Warriors for Christ group page on Facebook. That's right, it's public. And so we are back to weekly posting there. And then on Quora, we have 2 spaces. And then I am also a contributor to other spaces like Walking and Living by Faith, and then Spiritual Narcissism. So I want to get back into contributing, okay? So several times a week, we're back on Quora, yay. And then we also have TikTok. We have Instagram. We're getting back into a daily message. And a lot of times it's going to be a verse or a meme that includes one of God's words, okay? A Bible verse. It's for inspiration, motivation, reminders, education, awareness, everything. It's all about getting the heightened awareness in this ministry that God needs us to have. Not just about ourselves, but about our surroundings, because the narcissists really are very predictable. Thank you, Javon. Blessings received, and God bless all y'all too. Thank you. And we want to talk about the predictability factor one more time, and however often we need to, because y'all got to understand that this is a narcissistic matrix out here. And the devil needs predictability. He likes predictability. So as we are now getting back across all social platforms, again, you all, on the website, which is linked below, cdhrwdrmd.org, click on the My Social page, and you'll find the core spaces, my core profile. We are doing some updates also across platforms where needed. So we're in that season. Okay, it's time to update. It's time to do some improvements where they are needed. Okay, and there's always room for improvement. That's why I tell y'all, all you gotta do is just get started. God will guide your steps. You let God guide your steps. And these narcissists become so predictable that you're just like, oh, there's that again, right? They're trying that again. It used to work in the past. And the devil needs that predictability because he needs to know when he can try and, let's just say, try and throw a fiery dart, or try and interrupt, or try and distract. So that's why it's like, okay, when we go live Wednesday, for those who need this reminder, on Wednesdays, that is a toss-up day. If we're taking a break from live streaming, I'll let y'all know right here in this YouTube community tab on this channel. Now, it's going to be Instagram. It might be here, it might be Instagram, it could even be TikTok. All right, so, I mean, I don't know, I have to check on TikTok, but I believe we've got the option to do that now. But we're just kind of, like I say, we're getting back to business as usual, one day at a time. One day at a time. And so I want y'all to understand that God needs you to stay vigilant and aware, right? 1 Peter 5 verse 8. Okay, so stay vigilant, sober means awareness. And I need y'all to remember that radio frequency poison, that excess salt, there is such a thing as a salt high. Oh yeah. Okay, for those who don't know, that top degree back there is a master's in forensic toxicology. I had to learn all about that. And so one of the chapters in there talks about bath salts, and that is salts. So in excess, salt can be, well, it can be euphoric. It certainly can. A dopamine inducer, if you will, and in excess. So what happens when you are operating on a salt high, that leads to running on your adrenaline, because that excess dopamine converts to norepinephrine, which is adrenaline. And so that's what these narcissists are addicted to. And so, oh gosh, I tell y'all, it is. And how do I know this? Detoxing from a lot of excess salt that got trapped. Okay, from a thing that happened a year ago. At the time of this recording, in June of 2023, I didn't see it coming, but it happened. It is what it is. My ANF got re-traumatized. Jezebel case study. Oh, she knows. We know everything that she did, all the way down to putting bruises on my knuckles. Okay, yeah, we just found those not too long ago. I was like, and we know exactly what it was. So anyway, we know what she did. And I saw them here and here. We know what she did. I saw the toilet seat cover patterns and everything. We know what she tried to do. Okay, she wanted to try and permanently disfigure us. Anywho, but God, glory be to God. Anyway, that being said, salt in excess, a salt high. When I was looking at let's just say the effects, the side effects of cannabis and salts, excess salt, the salt high and the cannabis high are the same thing. Has the same action on your neurotransmitters. So that doesn't excuse that. I'm just letting y'all know it's very real. I said, oh, of course. Because a salt high will keep your body's internal heat is too high. And so you will buy on impulse. You'll be at the store, and even though those items are not on your list, you're like, it's gonna be more challenging to resist the devil. You see, to resist the temptation. So that's the thing with narcissists. They can't resist temptation, as they are predictable. And they become even more predictable the more we pay attention to their shenanigans. Because they tell on themselves, you see. but there are also rules in the spiritual. God revealed that to me. For those who don't know, there is a demonic ladder. For those who don't know, there's a demonic ladder. You have your regular run-of-the-mill narcissist. If they succeed over a period of time at driving others crazy, okay, and somehow they earn their sociopathic status, all right, well, then they do that for a while and they get away with it. They will earn psychopath wings, if you will, from the devil. Now, if they start to fail at that level, they do get demonically demoted. So I tell y'all, okay, don't do nothing. If that narcissist tried something with you, don't do nothing. Leave it to God, because vengeance belongs to the Lord. They get demonically demoted by the devil, though. But God takes care of them anyhow. That's that rule in the spiritual. If they fail at taking out a chosen one, or whatever it is their assignment was, they get demonically demoted. So that means the Jezebel case study has been demonically demoted to a sociopath. You know, and I know that, you know, Jezebel are the craziest of all narcissists, yes, because they're psychopathic. But once they fail at a particular assignment, like trying to take out a chosen one, they get demonically demoted. This is why I told you, I was like, I ain't got to do nothing. Because she got herself demonically demoted back down to sociopathic status. And she's aging quick. And she's getting a lot weaker physically as time goes on, because God said they're going to perish. So with that being said, she's not going to make it back to psychopathic status, no matter how hard she tries. It ain't going to happen. She's aging too quickly. And she's just not going to get it back. So that's how that works. And that's part of them being predictable. It's like they know, and that's why they panic. Yeah, if they don't succeed. This is why the Jezebel case study keeps checking in to see if her handiwork is working. It's not. Okay? So anyway, God restores. Jeremiah 30:17. Never forget that. And that's exactly what he does with his chosen one. He will restore. It's like God restores it like it never happened. Glory be to God. But narcissists are always predictable when you see the pattern. Now, how I teach all the time, patterns tell a story. You got to pay attention to the patterns, and eventually you'll catch on to the story. So, you know, for example, when they dish out a love bomb, you know they're going to devour at some point. That's that pattern. And then they're going to discard. And you got to remember something. For those who don't know, that silent treatment that they give as a form of punishment, that's the discard. It's just another technique behind the discard. Now, I need to remind y'all also, chosen ones, we're the ones that have to do the ultimate discard anyway. We're the ones that have to go no contact. Because they hoover. Think about that for a moment. If they did truly discard for life, they would not hoover. And they would not unblock. Because they do that. They sure do. They'll block and unblock. And I'm talking about they'll block and unblock like frequently. Now, chosen one, when you block, and then you find out later on, oh, those few, you finally learn the truth that maybe they're not narcissists, and you unblock. That's not what we're talking about, okay? Because that does happen. We've had some fellow warriors who, and it's understandable because God had to isolate you first, okay? When he first awakens you to all the narcissists and narcissism, he's got to show you who they are. And so while he's doing that, he's going to isolate you. So we do block, okay? We block whoever we suspect might be a narcissist for a time. And then if we are able to better discern that, oh, okay, they're not, but they are. Okay, then we unblock and we'll reconnect if it's true that they're not another narcissist, okay? So it can take a while, and that does happen, but a narcissist will block and unblock frequently because they got to hoover, they got to be nosy, they got to see what you up to, they got to see how you look, they got to see if you succeeding, they got to, and you know they have this warped definition of success anyway. To a narcissist, a person can only be successful if they are financially wealthy. That is a narcissistic mindset. That's the narcissistic matrix teaching. That is the narcissist for you. That's how they think. That's what they measure success by, is money. See, God says, hold on a second. He said, chosen ones are wealthy in a number of ways. Okay? Wisdom. Proverbs chapter 8 says wisdom. You can't put a price tag on it. See, narcissists don't have that. Wisdom, God's wisdom, is above all else. So that is extreme wealth right there, is that wisdom. And then, of course, you hear the saying health is wealth. That's true, too. Because the healthier you are, the less you need any services from the matrix, right? See, healthy people are of no use to that part of the matrix. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'd rather be healthier. Because once we learn of the ingredients that's in some of this stuff that they want to try to give you to take, including metals like aluminum, oh, we ain't putting that in our body. Not on purpose. It's kind of like that corn syrup thing. We do our best to avoid corn syrup where possible. I mean, if we're going to eat out, don't always know, but at least we're not going to allow it. We're not going to buy it and have it in here. We're not going to go and consume corn syrup on purpose. So if I'm at the store and I see a bag of something, or I'm reading a package and it says anything, corn syrup solid, high fructose corn syrup, I'm like, nope, it goes right back on the shelf. In other words, I'm not going to buy it deliberately or on purpose to consume it. If we're out and about and we eat at a restaurant and we don't know that there's a little bit of corn syrup in that biscuit that we're eating, it is what it is. The body will get to it. All right? It's just part of our combat against radio frequency for healthier living. But see, a narcissist won't do that. This is how predictable they are with that. The only time you will see a narcissist want to get in shape, is when it's time to line up new supply. But they won't stay with it. You said, they will not. Because they don't have the kind of dedication and determination that it takes to stay in shape. Because I'm going to tell y'all, it is another journey. When you embark on something like that, it's like, I will tell you, not just from experience, but learning from other trainers out here, that when you start lifting and you start weight training, you got to stay with it. It may not have to be like an everyday thing, but you definitely got to stay with it. You got to maintenance, right? You got to maintain it. It's called, and I call it, I have maintenance days. That's what I call them. What I mean by that is, if I'm not going to do a full-on upper body, let's say it is chest day or back day, okay? Whatever day it is, if I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do a full-on, 30 to 45 minutes to start, we're going to get to the hour mark at some point, but to start doing a full-on endurance training, if we're not going to do that, we just do a few endurance training moves for maintenance. So whereas I might do, let's say 25 of the 10 pounds over the head, okay, maybe I'll do 15. All right, to a lower day, like a low impact day, all right, as to give the muscles a little bit more of a break. And then sometimes we take a break from that altogether and we just walk. But a narcissist won't do that. A narcissist will not stay with it. They'll start it. Now, I ain't talking about the narcissists who do continue to build because never mind, all right, discernment, y'all. But a narcissist out here, the predictability of them with their physique, if you will, is they're only going to do it long enough and to eat healthy enough or whatever for supply they're trying. Let's say their new supply happened to be on a healthier diet and all that, then they will. Oh yeah, a narcissist will definitely get on that diet for, and start eating healthier and stuff like that because they want to lure in that supply. Once they've lured in that supply, and that supply is trauma bonded to them, it's just a matter of time before they stop doing that and they go right back to their old ways. They go right back to the old habits. Absolutely. 100%. Many of us have seen that happen. The ex-psycho roommate, I watched him do it. Oh yeah, because he did the same thing around me. He was like, oh yeah, I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to lose all this weight. I didn't know at the time he was lining up supply because yours truly was on the blood type diet, working out and all that. Then his pretend mistress was the complete opposite. She wanted to eat all these TV meals, everything, all like that. And I started noticing him doing the same thing. You see? So anyhow, that's how predictable they are. And so I wanted to get on here and just let y'all know that anything they're trying to get under your skin with, it's just going to be the same old stuff that used to work in the past. Never forget that. But the devil and the narcissist, they live in the past. And it's so easy for them to go back to their old ways because they don't want to change for the better. They don't want to become a new version of themselves. They have no idea who they are in the first place. Think about that, chosen one. In order for us to become the best version of ourselves that God intended for us to become, we have to have an idea of who the heck we are in Christ to start with. You got to have Jesus for that. We have to have some idea of who we are, though. We have to have some self-identity of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to know. Okay, let's just say you are a t-shirt and jean wearing kind of chosen one. You're like, that's me. That's who I've always been like that. I'm just okay. That's self-identity right there. That's just who you are. You're like, man, I'm just a t-shirt, jean wearing kind of person. That's self-identity. Okay, that kind of thing. Or I'm just one of those who like to wear my hair in a ponytail or a bun. That's self-identity. We might not do it all the time, but we like to do it. That's part of your self-identity. So you got to have at least that. Because we ain't got to copy nobody. That's beauty behind being a chosen one. We ain't got to copy nobody because we have that sense of self-identity in the first place. We're going to talk more about that because there's a lot to unpack behind self-identity because narcissists don't have it. That's why they're so predictable. See, when you have your own self-identity, you're not as predictable as the narcissist because we're going to change it up a bit. Right? Because when God says switch it up, we're going to switch it up. So like our new social media structure that we have. Right, that's what I'm saying. Oh, and, even on TikTok, at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, we're pumping out content. I just dropped a couple new ones since being here, okay, over on TikTok. And then Instagram. I went live yesterday on Instagram. I'm going to bring that to y'all if I can. I'm going to see if I can't get that to you all here on this YouTube channel somehow. Let me work on that. I'm still learning new stuff too. And it's beautiful because now I got the focus and the time to do it. So that's the thing. But chosen one, we learn to be less predictable. We're big on that because in order to stay low key and to move in silence, you got to be less predictable so that you can get around the devil's resistance. See, the narcissists, they are so predictable, and so that's why I've heard people say that the devil doesn't attack while you're living in sin. The devil attacks when you're trying to get out of sin. No. Truth mixed with lies. The devil gonna try to attack you no matter what. Because that's what he does. The devil gonna try to attack. He really don't care. He wants everybody to stay living in sin. But even when we get into repentance, he's still gonna attack because he got the same old pattern. Still gonna try the same old stuff, even though we're in repentance. So it really don't matter. That's why I had to realize that the devil don't care that I'm up here preaching and teaching. He don't care what we do. He does not care that we're up here preaching and teaching with the word of God. He doesn't care what we're doing. He's looking at our health. He's just trying to attack our health, especially our mental health. Wants to try and see if he can psych us out in some way. You see, chosen ones, we pick up on this stuff because, like the narcissist, the devil's predictable too. Right, and he liked that predictability. So we learn to switch things up because we got to. We cannot be out there doing the same thing on a routine basis, because then that's when the devil can try and catch us off guard. I understand that we have certain times that we go live, okay, like on Mondays, unless we're taking a break, Tuesdays, okay, Saturdays, and Sundays. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, those 4 days, we have time slots. Saturday 4 p.m. or around, Sunday around 2 p.m., Monday around 4 p.m., and then Tuesday around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, y'all. Alright, so that's how that rolls. The rest of the time when we go live, it can be anywhere between 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern time, and sometimes between 2 and 6 p.m. Eastern time. It just depends. And then Wednesdays, again, that's a toss-up. If we're not here live on Wednesday, check Instagram first. Or it could be TikTok. Okay, I was going to see if I could try to let y'all know ahead of time in the YouTube community that, hey, we're on Instagram Live. But see, then that takes away from being less predictable. So I got to tell y'all, okay, you can do it. You can stay on top of it. If you do not see a notification in the YouTube community that I'm taking a break, that means on Wednesday we live somewhere. Okay, and again, between 2 p.m. and 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern time. So let me go ahead and get y'all in the chat here. Well, congratulations. You went to the store and ooh, I love this. You were fighting the temptation from eating the unhealthy foods. You were resisting the devil, and he shall flee from you. So congratulations. Let's do it, y'all. Whenever y'all make, you just reached another milestone. See, that's why I try to tell y'all. See, narcissists, they won't even view that as a victory. Oh, it's a victory. It is a milestone. I don't care how small that might look to some people, but being able to fight and resist the temptation of that bag of Doritos. Awesome. Awesome. Now, I say Doritos. Do I eat Doritos? Well, that depends on my inner child. However, it's not a regular thing, I can tell you that much. And so far, we've done really well ourselves with that. But it ain't about me. Now, our inner child. See, once you're able to resist the devil and fight the temptation for you overall, then you listen to your inner child. Your inner child knows when enough is enough. So that means you'll get there. When your autonomic nervous system, your inner child is healing and it's growing with you, there's going to be moments where you, as the adult, resist the devil. You're like, nah, we got food at home. Or we have lightly salted corn chip and salsa. There you go. That's the healthier alternative. Notice that I said lightly salted, right? You get a bag of those corn chips, lightly salted or less, whatever the percentage is, less sodium. Okay, so lightly salted, and you've got your salsa. So there you go. You remind yourself, hey, wait a minute, I got that at home. I'm good, right? Now your ANF might pipe up, okay, at some point, and so I reward her. Okay, I call her Little Michelle. I reward her when she stays calm and behaves certain environments. When she's a good little girl, yes. And then she'll say, can I have a Cheeto? Okay, small bag. Small bag. I don't go buy no big bag. I'll give her she says all she needs is just a handful. And then the rest of it goes in the trash. That's just for her. That's her reward. Done. Boom. And eventually, we won't have to do that anymore. That is just to get our inner child back into the present. It takes a little while, but you have to start with you first, resisting, to where you're like, I ain't gonna do that. We're gonna make better choices, because I got my fruit veggie tray. Oh, I also discovered salmon, y'all. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but today I was like, that kale. I had kale, salmon, blackberry, strawberry, some banana, and some honey oat granola, unflavored, just plain regular granola crumbles. Yeah, on a bed of kale with some salmon, and then drizzle some honey over that. Boom. Let me tell you, that is some muscle food right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I will bring more of that stuff, y'all. I shared that on Patreon, too. But, yep, resisting the devil. And thank you, Numbers 6, verse 25. The Lord smile on you and be gracious to you as well. Likewise. Yes, see what I'm saying? Okay, you can reward the small little Javon. There you go. You can in certain situations, but you got to keep it in moderation, and you have to know, okay, hold on. But you yourself, because whether y'all realize it or not, when you become aware of your autonomic nervous system and how it's responding to certain external stimuli, like the frequencies out here, okay, because I'm going to tell y'all, I noticed, yes, I noticed when she wants to cringe, or if she, right, and which actually that's gone away now. But there are certain moments where she gets a little bit hesitant to relax. So I have to kind of coddle her a little bit. And so once she catches on that it's not a threat, she does very well. Like, all right, that's little Michelle relaxing. And you can tell, you can feel it. And then that's when she's like, okay, if she says she's craving something from childhood, like a PB&J sandwich on toast, we're going to give it to her. In fact, I don't mind that. That's not a bad choice regardless. But a peanut butter and jelly on whole wheat toast, that's actually a healthier eating. So, yeah, when she actually liked that salmon salad on the kale with the berry mix. Yeah, she did. She liked it too. I said, yeah, so do I. I said the muscles really like that stuff. Okay, anyway, but learning the difference. But you can do that. You can reward your inner child through the process, but not overly so. Your inner child will tell you. Your inner child is not going to ask. See, that's the thing with chosen ones. Our inner child knows when enough is enough, and it's just enough to keep it calm. And it's not going to say, hey, I want more of that at this time, or more of that. Like, for example, a slice of pizza, and she's fine. So there's a place I found up the road that sells by the slice. That's good. I don't have to buy the whole pot. And so just one slice of some pizza, and she's good. And so the next go round, I was like, okay, pizza. She's like, no, we're good. So we're good on that. She's like, we don't want no more of that. So she wanted some fruit. So it takes a little time, but our ANS, our inner child, will catch up with her. Okay? So keep that in mind going forward, and switch it up a bit. Okay? We're allowed to do that. That's God guiding our steps. And so as I share those truths with you all, because I'm being transparent. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all that I'm not giving my inner child what she craves from time to time, because I am, as part of the intermittent reinforcement, because we're doing it the right way, though. Like, if our inner child behaves and stays relaxed and does the work that it's supposed to do, because remember, our autonomic nervous system is responsible for a lot of things, including breathing. There's your food for thought right there. So you got to keep that in mind. Oh yeah, a bunch of things. And the devil knows that. That's why our ANS is the target for traumatization, so that we will follow. But we learn to be less predictable and continue to resist the devil, and he shall flee from you. Absolutely, 100%. So yes, so in certain situations, if your inner child, it behaves, and there you go. Your inner child will tell you what it wants. Yeah, we don't dictate that. I don't tell her, okay, then I'll get you, like, for example, I'll get you some pizza. next time. I don't do that. No, I wait and let her tell me what she wants. That's what we do. Let your inner child tell you what it wants. Because I'm not going to deliberately and on purpose just go and have certain things on hand all the time. I wait and let her tell me what she would like to have. Okay? And a lot of times it depends on the situation. It depends on the circumstances. It depends on the external stimuli. So keep on keeping on, everybody. I knew this was going to be a shorter message today. I wanted to get up here and just really remind y'all of some important factors, because patterns tell a story. They are so predictable. And because of that predictability, we can get around their resistance a lot easier. A lot easier. And that's right. Well, thank you. I'm glad the inner child talk is beautiful, because y'all, we really do have to acknowledge it. Okay? Our ANS is our inner child, and it is what gets traumatized before we do. So you are very, very welcome, all of you. Okay, all of you, and stay tuned, because we're going to dive more into not just the inner child, but self-identity, because we really need to break that down. Narcissists don't have a self-identity, so we want to talk a lot more about, for chosen one, what does that mean, right? So we're going to break it down for you very soon, and I thank you for your patience as we do continue to get back on track one day at a time. Again, the My Social page of the website link cdhrwdrmd.org. Click on My Social, because we are back to posting on Quora, TikTok, Instagram regularly now again. And then again, the live streams also on Instagram Wednesdays, if not here, unless we're taking a break, or TikTok. So you got to keep that one in mind as well. And then the Facebook business page and our Facebook Spiritual Warriors for Group page. We are back to posting there. Let's see, Pinterest. We're also on Pinterest. Yes, I just put one up yesterday on Pinterest, reminding everybody there that we have the individual consulting and coaching sessions available every Tuesday through Sunday. And we've got a ton of little pins over there on Pinterest. We've been on Pinterest. I think Pinterest was one of the first platforms we started on after we launched the website. Yeah, we got on Pinterest. I believe we were on Pinterest before I was on Instagram. So that's how long we've been there. And so you'll find all the social platforms where we're on Telegram. So I'm back to Telegram at least once a week now. Telegram is largely for communicating with a lot of y'all who are outside the United States as well. So that's where I went down the rabbit hole. It's on Telegram, of all places. So you keep on keeping on. We are going to keep bringing you on more content. Like I said, we're going to dive into a lot more important topics for trauma healing and spiritual growth while combating radio frequencies for healthier living. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.